Well, Top Esports have done it. They've begun the reverse sweep, at least taking a game off of RNG in this series. We go to a game 4 where, sure, RNG may still be at match point, but at least Top have some fire in them. Clement Chu, Raz, Asderix, and again, I start us off with our MVP, who is Knight, who had an amazing game on Corki and just destroyed RNG.
And you got what you came here to see. Knight popping off like the MVP he is. Great damage share. I love the build going for 100% crit rate.
Yeah.
And his damage share, 38.3%. Very good. Started from the top.
What's funny is that, I mean, before we get into the play, the goal difference at the end of the game really kind of provided good information for us. Full support build from Xiahu. All in, getting as much CS as possible in Knight. 8,000 gold lead at the end of the game. But just take a look at this.
This was an insane start.
Yeah, when you have a Pyke Elise, you try and all in for these fights. XX recognized that even getting the teleport in from the Renekton to get the job done. So I love the full confidence from Top to make the early game theirs.
Finally matching RNG. Remember in the first 2 games, RNG were making these teleport plays. Top weren't matching, but straight off the get-go, they were more responsive, more proactive.
And this was the fight that really sealed the deal for me. Top Esports able to hold the choke with 369, watch the carries go over the wall, and Knight doesn't even wait for LokeN to come to the blasting plant. He's going straight back in to mop the remaining members of RNG out.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty when you have a composition based around, you know, one primary threat in the Ezreal, and you have a full support Karma. You just have way more damage on the side of the Top Esports to be able to chase you down. So this is a great position from RNG to try and get 369 and realize that there were carries at all areas. So Karsa was too low in this situation. Ben would have been able to find an opportunity to get out ult off. So these are crazy situations to be in.
Watch that vanishing act. That was 1 Q from LokeN and just 1 auto attack from Knight. That was how powerful Knight on this Corker really was.
Yeah.
And so far he's been completely unanswered when he gets it.
He did that twice as well, so that was pretty insane. Knight, the OG Corki, you could say, starting from spring, or at least even before that. It's a good sign from Top Esports. This means a lot in the series. It means that Top Esports are getting comfortable, at least into the series
And
itself.
this is the evolution in the series that we wanted to see from the team. A lot more focus on the early game and also allowing RNG to self-harm. Give them the karma. You know what? Anything. Hey, yell Lulu towards the fans and try and get them getting wrong ideas. Because for Xiahu on any other team is a primary carry threat.
Yes.
But on RNG, he is a support bot for Uzi, and that needs to end today.
I think we're seeing the weakness of the Ezreal Tahm Kench lane be exploited across multiple different series. We saw that yesterday as well. You cannot play a strong side with these 2 champions.
Right.
So when your weak side gets completely destroyed, you then have no answer to come back. I expect teams to move away from Ezreal and Tahm Kench. They've been dropping it in LCK as well. I hope they drop it here.
Well, I mean, I think Ezreal Tahm Kench really worked within this series. It's been really pummeling them in the bot side
Game
of the
2 was
map.
a great example.
Yeah, I think that it works well for them, but it can't be your only threat.
Yes.
If you're looking to bot side and saying that it's working out so well in the laning phase, that's true, but the games are going fairly long, and you're getting to a stage where, yeah, they're going to pick up Karsa, and you're looking towards the Corki pick that you're consistently seeing now from Knight. Recognize that you need an extra threat on that team to at least ease the burden for Uzi.
There's a lot going on with the draft in this series. I like that we're actively talking about it. We'll get some thoughts on BSYY, the coach of Top Esports, and his thoughts on the draft so far.
是 BO5，所以大家需要做更多的准备，然后体力还有这个心态都是要比常规赛就是要更持久一些。目标的话，希望就是可以进到 LPL 的决赛吧，然后再走到世界。
Okay,
We don't want to hear what you're saying.
More about
Cut him off.
moving into Worlds, I guess.
Come on, I think he had a good point right there. It's about Stamania.
Stamina?
Stamina. Ah, there we go. Stamina.
Is that what happens in wrestling? The wrestling world for stamina.
And I think Top Esports should have the advantage there. There are a lot younger players on that roster. You know, Uzi's been around for a long time, but Knight just joined when he was 17. Actually started last year. Xiahu the same deal, and he's got some great stats to back that one up. Kills at 15. 3 of them, really important that he gets the ball rolling early.
I just like that BSYY was talking about the stamina, as you put it, Clement.
My bad.
But also more along the lines of like their mental going through, because it's a BO5, they have to pace themselves out. For Top Esports coming into it now, that's what it required, a strong mental to recover from a strong 2-0 start from RNG.
Yeah, and so momentum is actually a point that we constantly have to get back to because, you know, you had solemn faces when they came in and it looked like very much that they were going to get 3-0'd. It was a perfect game, near perfect game in game 2. They didn't get a kill, they didn't get a turret. They got a dragon, sure, because of a trade that actually RNG won in.
Yeah.
So we're in that situation where it felt like you were walking straight towards Hell's Gate. But now that they have that underneath them and they have an answer, and I think that's something that we were really looking for. Because BSYI recognizes, wait a minute, you know, I can now draft pretty heavily towards the early game, try and skirmish and try and challenge RNG, and just put them in a position where RNG needs to learn that, you know, we prioritize a Kali or something for Xiahu rather than the Karma.
I definitely want to see a more damage-oriented pick from the mid lane from RNG, but I think the real question has to go down to Langx, because it was that top lane that was completely penetrated in that game. I don't think the mid lane the dynamic is going to change much between Xiahu and Knight, regardless of the champion they play. It really comes down to that blind pick. What does he have that guarantees a safe laning phase and can stand up to the possibility of another Elise Renekton?
Okay, so do you look at the draft here for both RNG and Top Esports? Do you look at the focus towards the top lane coming into Game 4? Or should I ask, what changes here do you think, Clement?
I think the main one is that you're going to see a range champion coming out from RNG if it comes down to a blind pick. This time around, they get the Yuumi open and insta-lock in the blue side.
Okay, there we go. Yuumi here for the first time in the series. Isaiah banned away is the change with 2 junglers alongside it. And now, what do Top Esports look as their priority?
This is going to be really tough for Top, and I think that, you know, a Volibear as an answer could be the go-to to just try and run at the bot side. Might be the first time in the series that we see Top go towards the bot side as a primary, because when Uzi finds himself a Yuumi lane matchup, they try their hardest to just win out that 2v2.
We do have to mention that RNG have a Yuumi Skarner Karma comp up their sleeves.
Yeah.
The super run-at-you zoomies type of situation where we saw LNG caught across the board. That is on the cards.
And I will also say they love pairing it with the Aatrox as well. Yuumi Aatrox, a great combo.
Just remember, you EU fans out there, we don't play that.
That disgusting.
Yeah, don't even say the lane. Don't give them the opportunity.
Disgusting's
to know. It's
enough.
not coming to this region.
Okay.
Whatsoever.
We get the Sivir instead because Uzi plays 80 carries. And fun fact with this one, Uzi has a 12 KDA with Sivir. He's feeling pretty good about the pick.
They're doing what they need to get priority in the bot lane as well, and Top Esports are going for the perfect kill lane answer. The Alistar, you can get the WQ combo through the spell shield of Sivir, and that makes Xiongxiong's job a lot easier when he pays a visit.
All right, Jets. Alistar, Elise again, as we mentioned. So we've got a very different draft so far here for Top and RNG. And I'll ask you again, Clement, straight to you, what changes here this time in the second phase?
Top Esports, for me, Ken and Nar are going to be my bans. I'm not taking any chances. Langx, when he was known as Xiahu, was a very good Nar. So I'm taking away all range matchups. I'm making sure I can kill him, force a Renekton ban at the very least.
There's a lot of AP potentially on the side of Top, and you'd want to go towards the AP Karsa build with how much late game damage it has. I'm kind of expecting a Renekton pickup there for 369. Maybe a Jace, something that allows him early game damage up top side so at least can play towards it, but now allows Karsa to itemize towards the AP.
Karma, of course, another range matchup there, and there is a champion lurking in the shadows that we haven't seen so far, but has been very prominent recently, and that is Qiyana. I think that is one of those ultimate 80 champions that you were talking about. You need that 80 damage, you need that physical, and that would go very well with the Elise. Has plenty of crowd control as well.
I just don't like, I mean, Top Esports, banning Karma makes sense when you're going towards a Sivir and a Skarner pickup.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying Xiahu's a demon. All right, putting that out there.
Well, Top Esports are going to take away the Aatrox at the very least, away from Langx. So now that we've got our 2 solo laners to pick up, what is left?
Ooh, the range matchups, I would like to see the Gnar coming in, but the standard answers are ones that require jungle attention, things like Camille, things like Fiora, or things like the Jax. Actually, Mordekaiser's open as well.
I'm expecting a Zoe pickup here for Xiahu.
Oh, okay.
That would make a lot of sense to allow that range advantage there and for the enemy team to play a lot more respectfully. And if we have the slow being built up by Yuumi, suddenly that can couple up with the Q damage from Sivir, or at least Karsa or Xiahu finding those picks.
I got it right. I told you.
I knew you were coming in with that.
Langx, OG Nar, never forget
That's
about
true.
that one. This was his best champion back in 2018, and he finally gets a chance to play
I mean, if you have the Gnar, what pairs nicely with it? We don't get the Zoe Rise, but we still get the wombo combo of the Gnar-Nico combination.
Yeah, they just wanted to have that mid lane shove out. And the setup for that big team fight that RNG seems to be preparing themselves for. You were also talking about that Qiyana.
Oh, I'm a prophet. I'm in BSYY.
You wait for me to say that,
You know that?
all right?
You were saving that up for the entire split. You finally, this was a pretty damn
I
good
was
one.
about to give you credit. I was about to talk and
sorry,
be like, you got it right again.
All right.
I love how you apologize afterwards as well.
better
But
apologize.
you are right. Look, the Qiyana, the final lock in here for top esports. So Knight on the carry again. Looking to take the matchup.
And I feel worried for Uzi here. Yeah, take cleanse. This is going to be a tough one because when you go up against the Qiyana, you think about what is the semifinals for the North American playoffs, where Damonte just eviscerated double lift a few times off the pick.
Yes.
And you really learn the hard way when you go up against players who are so damn good at that pick that you just want them to get away from your AD carry. And yesterday we actually saw the same thing from, Duembi on the side of FPX, able to work that pick so well.
All right, gents, we're in another moment. The music has been playing since Game 3.
Because we're in match point.
Because we feel the weight, right?
Yeah.
And Top Esports won the last game, so that's what makes me even more excited, that we get Top Esports online rather than them failing to perform, falling back before they can have a say in the series. Now we've gotten to see the best of them, and now we get a new draft to test the waters again.
I absolutely love this draft because it's great skirmishing potential, great laning pick potential coming in from the side of Top Esports, their strengths, and then you have the 5v5, the team fights, the AoE crowd controls coming from RNG. They could not be more different from each other, and the interactions are going to be awesome.
I agree completely. I'm just sorry because I feel like this song just needs to find itself on Spotify.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be listening to this afterwards. It's just the only one that I don't have on my playlist. So, unfortunate.
At least we get it now. Game 4 for Top Esports and RNG. I'll say it again.
Oh!
Worlds qualification for this series. RNG are one step away from making the Worlds trip once again and going to another grand final. But Top Esports, they've got the fire in them. They want to take us to a Game 5, and this is the game to do it. Well, their voices are giving out. If we go to a Game 5, I feel like we need new crowd representatives for RNG and Top Esports.
No, I want these guys to pay the price. Game 5, they're going to be waking up the next morning not being able to speak.
That's worth
Especially if you're chanting for LGD, you deserve to have a sore throat.
Clevenger, you're on
Wow.
fire.
I think fans of multiple games will say the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
That's rough.
We go above and beyond. I feel like yours was worse, Clement. So, going into Game 4, gentlemen, I know you like to look at runes. Clement, what takes your interest? Is it the fleet footwork Gnar?
We're having pretty standard runes across the board. The only thing that we're seeing deviate a little bit is that comment on Yuumi. You see that a lot of times you're going to be going for, what was it? I think you see like
We've seen a lot of Guardian. We've seen a lot of Guardian recently.
So he's just looking for a little bit more poke, trying to punish that lane a bit harder, but everything else is standard.
Very surprised that Ben has gone towards Aftershock here, knowing that Yuumi and Sivir are just going to poke your AD carry down.
Yeah.
You need the Guardian. So I'm actually super surprised by this. It kind of tells maybe a tale that XX is going to be finding himself bot side pretty religiously. If that doesn't happen, then you just outright lose.
Yeah, started towards the red side in the top lane, skipping Raptors once again for the Elise, heading down towards the bottom lane. Now, remember last game, it was the blue buff ward by RNG that spotted XX out, but they ignored it anyway and pushed up into the lane.
Oh, so this is going to be a very interesting build coming out from the Gnar. We're actually seeing the overheal being selected right here. He has the confidence that he's not going to get hit by the Aatrox, and we could potentially see some of the split pushier builds come out from that.
Oh, for sure.
This Yuumi is looking to 1v1 an Elise.
Get over here.
Look at this. Ming is going for it. The blue buff? Is it stolen? Yes, it is. Ming
That's what you love
has
to see.
gumption.
Walks in It's the fiercest feral cat I've ever seen.
XX has to back away, respects that Karsa's nearby. Blue buff stolen, Wolf stolen as well. This is not a good start for the jungle, at least this game.
I remember, you know, coaching for an Oceanic team and just seeing a Janna go wild and a jungler on blue buff.
Oh, yeah.
I think the people who will listen in on this one will know exactly who you are, and you should feel ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
That is so devastating for XX, not being able to get his buff. He's already 3 camps behind, 1 level behind, and, you know, Elise's advantage in this matchup is only in that 3-6. Afterwards, the Predator and Impale is just so much more powerful.
And he's once again fallen behind in CS, as we've seen engage on the bottom side. Ben's going to go for Uzi or Ming. It ends up being Uzi, but they turn it around with Karsa nearby, and they can't continue the chase.
At least we're able to get a considerable amount of damage on towards Uzi, but remember, Uzi is chugging down potions, also still has a biscuit to his name, can stay in the lane a little bit longer, but Ben, big boy Ben wants that damage.
Remember, you can interrupt the reattachment onto Uzi. It's not going to happen this time
What?
around.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah, XX. He's done this twice now, Raz. He hits it up to 20 HP and he lets it burn away.
That's cool, that's cool. I can expect that.
But trading buffs here is XX, Clement.
Good calculation on him, and he definitely understood that Karsa was going to be around the bot lane just by the way Uzi and Ming were playing. They took a bad trade, and then they walked up. There's something fishy going on here. So I like the move from XX. He's behind in the matchup currently, but still willing to go into the jungle based on his assumptions.
And so here's the issue that we were kind of hitting on earlier on in this game. I mean, XX hasn't found himself bot side. In fact, Skarner has had the advantage bot side. He's been able to sit for Uzi and Ming. And the early engages have been working out for Ben because, you know, Uzi's able to heal right back up. And that's a lot of poke that LokeN is now taking. Has to find that base off. Thankfully, as teleport, can he be able to hit that. But that's still an advantage for Uzi and Ming because of that poke that's being unperturbed because they don't have Guardian.
Lane winning out again. Yeah, I like that you keep bringing up the Guardian point. We'll see how it goes towards 6 as well when On the Hunt comes through, when Karsa hits the Impale for that bottom lane as well. And Karsa, speaking of the devil, just picked up his red buff, going towards Krugs, and has been down here for the past 3 minutes.
He's not leaving that place. That's how RNG plays. The question for me right now is where does Top Esports actually get their kills rolling? This is a very skirmish-heavy comp. They're not going to get a lot of priority or tower dives in lane, and they have to go into the enemy jungle to really find their kills. And there's actually a pretty strict timer on these things as well. You have Feast and Famine champions between XX and Knight. So this has to get rolling early.
Just want to let you new viewers know out there that when we throw up that, you know, kind of graphic, Knight is going to be the focus of the POV for the Chinese side. So that's going to be on Huya, Douyu. You do need to actually pay that 10 RMB, which I think is like $1 or something USD. But you can only pay in like WeChat. So if you guys have that, great. But you probably don't.
That's cool.
This is my account now.
But search online.
It's a good game for Knight. It's a good game to look at his POV because on the Kiana matchup, he's down a little bit of CS, but it is going to come down to it. As Clement said, Feast or Famine. I like that because for Knight, last game, even though Corki isn't the same, it was definitely feasting on loads and loads of kills of RNG. And let's see if this game he can get the ball rolling once again.
And it will come down to this bot lane, that WQ combo. And Xiahu's waiting for it right now, but so is Karsa.
That's a flash, headbutt pulverize onto Uzi. He's going to have to heal up. He flashes away. Karsa's here. He flashes on in himself. He doesn't hit level 6, but he gets the slowdown onto Ben. We're doing it again, gentlemen. There's first blood. There's second blood. Here's a TP to match as 369 comes on in, but it's not all 5. We only get the 1-for-1.
A full committal to take down Ben, but he lasts... He's alive for a long time. In fact, I think the First Blood went over to Top Esports. I would love to see that again to make sure. No, First Blood went over to RNG. So that's actually pretty crazy. It went down to that kind of borderline finish. Right to the finish line. Super close. At least RNG was able to nail it.
Wasn't down to the wire in that one, but Langx decides a big breath of relief right here. This is his first NAR game the entire split, but we have seen how this matchup goes when ADD has played it quite a bit on BLG, and when NAR gets an advantage, he really does dominate that one in the laning phase.
Get to have a look at it again because Ben really went in quick.
Yeah, this is what we were kind of searching for XX to find that way down bot side, but we always knew that Karsa was going to get the counter gank. And so it came down to that photo finish. So close. Ooh. Yes. Okay. Just off that one alone, Yuumi was able to get that first blood. So well done from RNG. The gold lead ends up going on their end.
But what I notice is XX gets a kill again. Now, it's not the double that he started with in game number 3. but it is still the gold to get him back in the jungle matchup. It is still the Elise who's set up for the early snowball again.
Yeah, so I guess at the end of the day, even though the gold went over to RNG, it's on the right member for Top. Top was able to snowball last game off of XX's Elise, and now he's able to get that same opportunity.
I love that they're going for the second blue buff contest here. Jungle skirmishes is how Top Esports is going to start winning this game, and they need to do something about Langx. He's getting too far ahead in the matchup. Nar is a champion that punishes you
and he
super
just used
hard.
his ult, Clement. He's up against the wall. There comes the world, and he dodges away, flashes away. The Supreme Display of Talent doesn't work. Langx, how are you still alive? He stops the dive. 1 versus 3. This Nar's crazy.
He knew they were coming up top side. Sent out the ultimate, was able to deal with the wave, but mostly just made it harder for 369 to be able to set up for the dive. Great job to Langx there.
That was just off reading the map. There was no vision that spotted Knight or XX going to the top lane. I guess that's just in the bones for an OG Gnar like him.
It's funny. You could just actually have a highlight reel for both Gimgoon and Langx in those dive defense. Multiple people out for your blood, but they were able to play it out perfectly so consistently. These are why, you have our top 4 teams being Top Esports, RNG, FPX, and BLG, always able to protect their top side, but oh no.
Will he be able to do it again? Has Meganar, has to dodge away, he gets pulled back in by the Infernal Chains of Cocoon, lands this time, he did it once, but can he do it again? Repel's gonna come down and no. Only once there's a charm here for Langx.
Yeah, we sing his praises and the caster curse happens right in front of us. We're sorry, Langx, that one was on us.
I mean, if he did it again, it would be outrageous. At least it delays the blue buff. I'll take that.
Hey, if it gives us 5 games, let's keep saying it. You're the best, Langx.
Okay, Karsa gonna go after with Predator here onto XX, gets repelled back in. Pop Blossom to combo down. The damage is there, can't repel. XX dies, and RNG now getting chased here by 369 and Knight. The flash bird by Xiahu. They'll just return to the blue buff.
Yeah, at least they were able to pursue Xiahu for the flash. I'm not too sure if it's gonna be really easy for them to pick up the kill, especially with how strong, Nico is defensively underneath their own turret. But at the end of the day, Karsa's been playing this one out well.
Yep.
Was bound bot side able to get that first blood? Was at the top side able to at least get an advantage consistently for his side? So this Skarner set up to succeed.
And if I ask the question, is this Skarner early, did this at least early game get enough of advantage over Skarner to justify the pick? I would say no. You look right now and Karsa's comfortably ahead. 4 camps at the very least. The kills are even, and the lease is only going to drop down from here. So we're going to see RNG start to run across the map, and especially that bottom side is going to be the first breaking point.
I do see, however, for the first time, Uzi is down in CS in this matchup for now. So at least you take away for Top Esports that LokeN and Ben, they get the shove here, they get the turret plating, which I'll also say feels like the first time in lane for Top Esports.
It's happening, but Karsa's back.
Okay.
Someone stop this man.
He's got
Every
a red
time there's hope there for LokeN and Ben, feels like it gets swatted away. But I'm going to keep on to this one. I like what LokeN and Ben has been doing within the lane. And it feels like Ben's answer throughout the series is, I just need to go in. It's one of those moments where you feel like the series is slipping away from you, because it is. And so it's more so the proactivity that's coming through from what is their veteran player, by the way. So across the board, Knight, LokeN, XX369, all were relatively new faces onto the scene. Maybe you could make the debate about LokeN, but certainly Ben, who's been on the world stage in a semifinals position with Team WE, you trust his calls in team fights.
We remember that sick WE 2017, but I'll hold on that because Xiahu going to be spotting out Knight here, looking for the Supreme Display of Talent, gets the stun down at half health, but Tangle Barbs for the counter engage. Langx there to support.
Really good build from the Nika.
Oh, but they're coming fast on the hunt. Pop, Karsa's rolling on in. LokeN by himself. Impale pulled in. The Boomerang Blade doesn't land. The flash away. Uzi has to flash in response while we look at the top side. Ben went for the roam, so Langx will be the trade kill. And now the turret race begins.
Yeah, full trade there, but you have a lot of people up top side. Sadly, not only is RNG going to be able to pick up the kill onto LokeN, he loses the wave. They're just going to have the first turret gold now.
It does look like Top Esports will try to equalize with the Herald going into their favor. But that one was I think it was a good display of the build coming in from Xiahu. He's not going to go for the GLP 800. That gives him that extra 60% slow rate. He's going for the Zhonya's first. Very conservative build.
But this is what we were kind of expecting coming into the series. Really, it was a challenge of carries from Uzi versus Knight. And honestly, Knight's been pushing the tempo, trying to find the picks onto Xiahu. Xiahu's trying to save himself. And Uzi has been commanding a lot of pressure, having Karsa and Ming in the lane, of course, to look for the dive onto LokeN. So it's kind of crazy. It's, you know, LokeN and Xiahu are trying their hardest just to not die.
They really
Don't give a bit of resources. Don't give it away for free.
I mean, LokeN's been bullied, torn apart here in this series. The fact that he survived in that last game, the fact that he even pushed against it in this game
the
is
doctor
still a
should
testament.
definitely check on him after the series is done. You may have a few bruises.
They should.
Gotta say, as a top laner, you can play weak side with tanky champions like Gnar and Renekton. As an AD carry, not so much. If your team's not there for you, not much you can really do. And unfortunately, that is the difference here, as LokeN holds himself, only himself, in that weak side.
Yep.
Hey, look at this, though.
We'll get a Rift Herald now, Raz.
Yeah, this is much better here from RNG. Going to be able to pick up that outer mid lane turret that allows you so much freedom, by the way, to look towards the dragons that's going to be coming up that RNG, as per usual, is getting a heads up on. We'll have to see if there's a response here from top esports. A lot of pings coming through, but not much you can do about this.
I mean, they're moving up towards the top side of the map. It's only 14 minutes in, so for RNG, vision priority as usual. Looking up towards this Aatrox who Red gets reset on. He goes into the world and he flashes away. Karsa committing. That is a fast Scorpion. They'll lock him down. They'll boomerang him back, and they wanted the kill, so they'll get it.
That's it. Squad goals coming in from RNG. Just rotating mid to top side to find that pick on the red.
We're seeing one of the biggest weaknesses of top esports comp being exposed, and it's the fact they just don't have wave clear anywhere. RNG with that Sivir free from the bot lane can move around the map so damn easily and just chase these kills down. That was behind 2 towers that RNG has not taken down.
And I'll sound like a dead record here, but Uzi picking up that second kill online once again for RNG.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the man who's been making it all happen has been Karsa. Karsa has had a spectacular 15 minutes this game.
Yep.
Been able to keep them afloat on the top side of the map when he found that pick, and went down to the bot side of the map when he was able to find the, siege on the turret. And so right now, Karsa is online to get the lead on his carries. He is the true support, 0, 1, and 4.
Impossible to run away from him. I also want to point out that for Ming going the Twin Shadows first, this comp will chase you down, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love that adaptation. Usually you see those slow items coming out from Xiahu, but since he has to itemize against Knight, Ming is picking up the slack in this one.
There they go.
All right, where are we going, little kids? We found somebody.
Little kids.
Yeah, we love the kids here on the chat.
Kid ghosts are the scariest, by the way.
That's true. For anybody that has watched, what is it?
Supernatural?
I mean, no.
I don't know.
Absolutely
You
not.
see the ghosts in that one.
Yeah, you do. That's the whole show.
Game of Thrones. Don't trust the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Don't trust the kids.
That's
Never trust
true.
the kids. The kids will find you and they won't help you.
Okay. Well, look, at the end of the day, Clement, you're right. Great adaptation, just purely because the way this composition works. Innovative from Ming, but I like we're talking about supports. I'm going to transition over. Ben's doing it again. Hex Flash. Boom. Xiahu, you're in trouble. Flash is good. Instant reaction here while RNG make a play on the bottom side.
All right.
Predator again. Karsa has ult. He pulls him back, relying on Langx with the Black Cleaver to get the damage down. They launch with the final chapter, and RNG will trade handedly, being a leg up.
It just feels like every time the same trade's coming through, with RNG getting a heads up.
And the difference really is just because of the wave clear that they have. Essence Reaver provides you with infinite mana, and there's not much Knight can do to keep up with this. So even though they're trading 1-for-1 tower, they're getting a little bit extra on that inhibitor as well.
Yeah, there's just no way you can get out. Because even with the blue smite coming on your head, you're like, you're okay. The Skarner pulls you in. It's like, no one can follow up. The Yuumi locks you down. It's like, please stop it. Like, honestly, this is too much.
There's no one in this comp that can't CC you, that can't lock you in one spot.
This comp is just downright stupid, and we actually see Langx. He's, you know what he's going for. He might be trending towards that frozen mallet just to make things a little bit worse.
All right, Clement.
41% damage this series so far. Oh, in the first 2 rounds, excuse me. And at 15 minutes, average gold lead of 900.
Wow.
DPM also insane. 841 DPM.
What the hell?
Usually you see 80 carries around 500 something. Mid laners, like 580 was the highest for the LPL
But
mid
do
laners.
you remember in our first playoff series against LNG, Uzi had similar stats. It was that same 40% damage percentage. I believe gold was at 800 or so.
Yeah, that was for the first 2 rounds, just to be clear.
right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That is a lot.
All right, well,
I mean, it just tells the story of RNG. If people are tuning in and they remember 2018 RNG, that went to MSI, that went to Worlds, they'll remember the same story, that it was about Uzi.
Yeah, I
Things have changed, but not everything.
I definitely think Uzi right now is Uzi level, you know? That's definitely what's happening at this stage. And he's getting a lot of help. Karsa, for me, has been a primary MVP of this game, and there's nothing stopping RNG.
Make them stop at this point. The turret's going to go down. Pop Blossom's going to come through. Ben with a great engage, but where's the follow-up? Top Esports getting engaged on the nut. Ult misses amidst the repel. 369 comes in for the flank, but they're slow. Knight and 369 need to make the engage happen, but the rest of their team have dropped down. It's a double kill for Uzi again, and RNG have found the disassembled fight. 369 and Knight running for the hills as a re-engage, only to buy space. RNG have done it again, and they're looking towards mid.
If that cocoon had landed, maybe they could try something off this, but RNG as a team is just moving too quickly. And Xiahu, I feel, had played this game so well, because every time they gun for him, he's the one playing ultra respectfully and is now being a great contributor in a lot of these fights.
That was a really smart retreat from top esports at the end of that, just baiting them into that terrain and knowing that there was a potential for Qiyana to get a multi-stun, but let's watch the start first.
It just feels bad when you give credit to a team to just like be running away, because that's all they can do at this stage. Great turret take, was able to find the pick on towards Karsa. Yeah, poor LokeN the entire series.
Yeah.
Oh! We need to do something. Honestly, that's the desperation coming out of top.
RNG aren't going to move to this side, though.
But this could be a good flank, Clement. Not going to happen.
They're going to have to flank from bottom to top. Look where RNG are.
Oh, they're just going to take the inner turret. I mean, Uzi gets red buff on the way. The 5-0 Siva doesn't care.
So the problem that we have here from the side of top is that there are multiple mid-range to just outright melee champions. So when they want to try for a flank, you have Skarner, Sivir, a lot of them, of course, very easily can deal with that. And then you have a Yuumi, if it's just the salt on the wound, right? To be able to just keep you away at the ultimate alone. And he's pretty fast.
He's super fast. With the help of RNG, they're going to push into the inhibitor turret. RNG have a 6k gold lead.
XX, we need you.
Sieging the turret. Yeah, they need the Elise. RNG are not stopping. They're like, where's the Elise?
They don't need to know where he is. They only need to keep eyes on the Qiyana. That's the big threat to them. In that position, you could get a very good ultimate, the supreme display of talent on multiple members. And as long as they make sure Knight is not coming from the flank,
they should be fine. Righteous Glory. Ben goes in for the engage. This is the final fight for RNG. They get dunked down. Langx isn't in Meganar, so they're going to find him. It's a 1-for-1 trade with Ben now dropping down the advantage. Over to RNG as 369 tries to bring it back. Cocoon will land onto the Sivir, but remember, 5 items. Sivir will run at 5-0. Just jumps another couple of kills. It's double-double for the 80 carry.
Untouched. Honestly, they tried their hardest. They were able to take down Karsa and Langx, but ultimately the objectives is RNG's. The fact they were able to get the turret, the inhibitor, and 3 kills for themselves.
That response was just so smart from RNG. They see Qiyana over their own base gate. They know she doesn't have the angle, and then they pop everything to go right in. That was actually the catalyst right there. They spot Knight, go straight in, and just start killing everyone.
And as per usual, RNG is just moving way too quickly for top to be in position. It was the Qiyana that was trying to find the flank, but by the time that happened, Alistar is already chunked to about 40% HP. And so, good plays from the Karsa. LokeN is able to find those 2 kills, but at the end of the day, you still have a 7-0 and 2 Uzi though.
With 3 items, I want to point out in that last fight, Knight didn't get the ult off either. So for top esports fighting with that advantage down, RNG, even though losing a couple of members, was still able to get a net win. 6k gold lead still there. Inhibitor, as you mentioned. RNG 1 step away. They want to end this now. Here comes the fast Scorpion. The final chapter locks down 3. Ben caught out again. Uzi gets the kill. Stop giving this man gold.
I saw top speed of 565 on Uzi just running it down mid lane, and that was the most glorious rundown I've ever seen.
Yeah. Proper strategy with the composition that you had here. Just think about the Karma with this composition. Good ban, still not good enough. RNG is just slamming top. At this stage, Langx's never going to be with the team, with the fact that he has both the Black Cleaver and that big mallet to boot.
Oh, that frozen mallet is just salt on the wound at this point. You get in range with the extra speed, and then you have a 20% slow coming in from the ranged auto attack.
So let's quickly take stock, because at this point, RNG are not going to slow down. You got the mallet, Righteous Glory we talked about, Predator, Skarner himself. Twin Shadows picked up here for Xiahu as well. So the chase always there. One way or another, something's off cooldown for RNG. So approaching this Baron now becomes such a difficult task for top esports. As we're doing it again, Righteous Glory, look, where's the Elise going to jump to? Help him! XX going to get pulled into 3 members, destroyed.
Yes,
it
all
never
the
ends.
kills to Uzi. Give all the kills to Uzi. 9-0 and 2 Sivir. Perfect. 10-0 and 2 Sivir. Even better.
Finally, top esports really hurting here. And RNG will hit the Baron. They'll take this one away. And they'll look to put the security here on this series and on their chance to the finals.
What can you even say for top? They're trying their hardest to find a pick, to find an opportunity. They are a creative team, by the way. Like, first series that they had in Spring Split when they went up against Invictus Gaming, when they had a deficit, they tried any way possible to find flanks, to get into fights, deep ward teleport. They're a team that doesn't just sit down and see the map move away from them. But RNG is playing so cleanly that they don't get a chance. Skarner is just way too strong at this point for XX to even find an opportunity to get that cocoon, or even just any defensive wards.
I think this is the perfect situation for Knight to make a name for himself. We've seen in the previous series versus LNG. Wait a minute, never mind.
Ben caught again, I think. He doesn't want to be in this position. Will go into the Unbreakable Will and survive for now, but the Yuumi pokes him down, and top esports have a low health bar support.
RNG do not want to hear my prep talk, but they did go into the base, and they failed to finish off the Nexus with 100 HP. Anything is possible when it comes to these teams. Very unlikely, however, but top esports in their base, plenty of terrain for Knight to find that ultimate.
Approaching the inhibitor turrets, RNG putting the nails in. 369 struggling to defend here, being 2 levels down. Now in the mid lane, onto the inhibitor itself. They've found Ban Pop Blossom onto 1, and he's dead without the ulti. Xiahu going to get picked up, but XX into the middle with Repel up. He'll come straight back down. Uzi flashes on him with the Ricochet. This AD carry can't be stopped. They'll send the Boomerang out as well. And RNG with Baron buff, with low health bars, are going to look to end the series right here.
Yeah, they got the waves ready. Top need to do something.
First Nexus turret is down. RNG can smell it. They return to the world stage. 369 hitting hard, Repel up again, XX slowed on down, second Nexus turret gonna die, Knight trying to save it away, he'll slow down Xiahu, but again, walloped back, as Uzi, of course he's still alive. RNG have done it, they return to the world stage in 2019, and they return to yet another grand final in the LPL.
It just wouldn't feel right if RNG wasn't there. This will be their 7th trip as an organization back into the LPL finals and continuing their world championship appearance streak starting all the way from 2016 onwards.
But you know what the trick is? They're reversing the trend. 2018, the Golden Road couldn't win Worlds. This time around, this has been a pretty, pothole-filled roads, to say the least, for RNG during the 2019 split. And they're right and ready, looking incredibly clean right when it counts.
When I talk to people who watch the LPL, I said, who do you think the best chance at Worlds, who do you think the best team to send to the finals from this bracket is? They said RNG, and now returning to the world stage.
I think IG said it best. Regardless of their domestic results, they always feel like RNG is the strongest team they have, the strongest opponent that they have to face inside the LPL. Right there it says this will be the 4th consecutive year that they are going back to Worlds.
And it always comes down to those intangibles. Because for us, for the Chinese casters, literally anybody that had predictions based off of this series, I mean, if you're a new viewer coming in, it's like, why is everyone saying RNG? RNG during the spring split didn't look good. RNG during the summer split was inferior to top esports. They even lost that that best of 3.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Langx looked exposed, while top esports were only getting stronger. But the reality is, RNG, the veteranship that comes through, you still have to deal with Uzi at the end of the day. Xiahu's been playing mad-like during the split. You believe that they'll get things together when it comes time. They did, they evolved. It was top esports that couldn't deal with that.
3-1, fashionable finish, I should say, Clement.
And I think it's just, when it comes to these BO5s, it's about how many cards you can play.
Very true.
And RNG actually just had more comps in that one. They did the protection comp. They did a great zoomy speed up composition that we see them do against LNG as well. And Top Esports really didn't have that many. I think they only had one in hand, and that was the Elise Renekton. Once that was gone, RNG seemed like they could triumph.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're looking at a pretty damn good LPL finals.
Yeah.
Because FPX versus RNG, two pretty dang fierce teams that always look for those fights, incredibly confident within their own mechanics. LWX first team, LPL AD carry. Uzi, historically just the best AD carry in the world. You have those conversations, you will immediately look to that. Or Doomby versus Xiahu, this split. Both players that were vying for that MVP of the split. Knight ends up getting it. I'm sorry, that's now apparently a curse to being able to get that MVP.
You can still go to Worlds. Come on.
That's true. That's true. You got
That's
that
true.
though. But it's a rough goal for a lot of the fans and faithfuls for Top Esports. But if you're looking for an action-packed finals, you've got that now.
That finals is going to be absolutely insane. I loved how you walked through all of the matchups. The coaching staff also very familiar with each other, both on Flash Wolves, in Stake, and Warhorse. So there's going to be some deep rabbit holes that we're going to go down during the drafting phase.
I like that we're talking about finals. Before we get there, let's come back to this series quickly because for me, at least, I got to see a very strong Top Esports in Game 3 and a Top Esports that even in Game 1, I will say, were very contentious, were very powerful within their moments.
Yeah, I love the mental fortitude for Top. I think that when they went and they had pretty much the entire series momentum moving away from them, they doubled down in their early game, and a lot of it came down to XX, a player who, for the most part, we were kind of giving a good challenge to, saying you need to at least perform as well as you did during the regular season. And while I don't think we saw that version of him, it was far better than we saw in Rift Rivals, in Spring playoffs. He looked better and better, and it was more so team strategy that resolved itself and made it so RNG looked like kings.
Yeah, honestly, Top Esports, they really got heavily outmatched in the bottom lane. That was a constant sore point. No shame, you're against Uzi and Ming. That's going to happen. That was kind of a situation where it has been somewhat consistent throughout the entire split. We've seen LokeN this split drop his CS per minute very, very low. He's actually -8 during at 15 minutes. So if Top Esports want to continue this all three lane dominant trident type of strategy, they need to make sure they can do it against the best of teams, not just the average.
And I think one lane that, or at least one position that doesn't get as much praise, but this time was just a massive difference. It was Ming versus Ben. Ming played out of his mind in his Recon games, Tom Kench games. He played really well consistently. Ben, on the other hand, actually had a really poor first 2 games. He brought it back a little with the Pyke. But even with the Alistar play, I thought a lot of the plays off that one was actually just not that good. And so it's tough to be able to see that, but there's a reason why Ming is seen as like the best support in the world, or of course immediately, factually, all LPL support right now. He always is given that respect, and there's a reason for that. This time around on the Yuumi, if we're talking about MVPs, this is going to be fun. Because I would be thinking towards Karsa. I wouldn't be mad if it was the Yuumi with how much he helped in those plays.
But you know what everyone's thinking. They're going, who has the most kills and damage? And what do we normally do here with our MVP?
I would give it to the kill share. It's Uzi. It's Uzi. I know.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
The choice is theirs. I understand Uzi did well. But he was given the world every last bit. Like, I'm telling you right now, we ain't making those votes happen.
Yeah.
It's on you guys.
Coming back
Not
to
the viewers.
Coming back to Karsa, I mean, like, you're right. Yuumi deserves it. I think Ming in that series on the money with how powerful he was. Karsa had a great series. Karsa just, I think, played it out of his right mind as well.
Yeah, I think he completely triumphed over XX. The CS score in the early game was great. His protection of the bottom lane was always on point. And his tower dives were really good as well. If you're out talking about who always came out with the better trades on the map, it typically was Karsa. And that allows RNG to play to their strengths, play to their strategy. This is going to be the split.
This is annoying.
There's 2 towers up, by the way.
What did you call the composition, Clement, in the end?
How does Zoomies comp?
No, you had a funny word for it in game.
I have a lot of funny words. Sometimes
That's true. You guys need to listen to Clement off broadcast. He is the best.
Okay.
Guy.
On broadcast, apparently not.
Not that-
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. You get another level.
But look, Zoomies is a fast composition. Karsa became so annoying, and this became the Karsa highlight reel by the end as well.
Yeah, I really felt like this composition was about the Skarner Yuumi. They were constantly looking for fights, and a lot of the times a flank was being created by Top. But what can you really do when instantly picks like these were set up? So Top, trying to find their way back into the game, only found their ways. No!
They found their way to Uzi!
I told you. I told you.
How did they just had to throw it at us, didn't they?
A lot of MVPs, same amount as kills, by the way.
He went wild this game. Give him the respect. I'm not gonna. Like, he had a great game.
I will say, as usual, Uzi hitting the CS margin that he's used to, hitting the damage cap that he's used to as well. This man's on fire. Was it you who said it in Game Rise? You know, Uzi's having the Uzi performance, or it feels like we're getting the best level of Uzi at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, he's Uzi level, because every other AD carry starting with Doublelift is saying that they're Uzi level.
Right.
Uzi's still performing at his level. He's doing really well.
Yep.
And everybody sees that, including the people who made him MVP of this game. I'm just saying, some junglers out there have to start saying that they're going Karsa level. Maybe we'll have that respect for the man here.
Yep.
I think we have to go back to the package that RNG produces and presents towards the LPL. It's the fact that they always have the best bottom side of the league. That is their promise. You know, top lane, I think the Shy still has it, but on the bottom side, they are the kings, they are dominant. And with Karsa into the mix this time, he actually took over from MLG. MLG retired this split. So he's actually showcasing a new era for RNG. That promise has been strengthened, emboldened. That's the brand that they're going with, you know, full 5 Mandarin speakers, and always the best bottom side of the league.
Powerful team, to be sure. I had a note here that I wanted to pull out because I know that you can read it if you want.
Okay.
That I was watching
a
cooking show.
Why does it say Schalke and Rogue? What do they have to do with this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what Rogue was about. I was just watching the series while I was writing this. But I was looking at Cooking with Upset, right? There was a bit of content from Europe. And Upset said he wants to verse Uzi at Worlds.
Yes.
That's the person he looks towards. So RNG are going to be at Worlds, and it's a very different conversation towards Schalke. But
look, a lot of AD carries, even in 100% in China, always talk about, you know, wanting to get to that level because Uzi inspires him for that. So let's see what the interview is about. We've got ourselves a stage interview with Mr. Clemente Chu.
Thank you, Clement. You will be our guide through this one. Who are we talking to? Looks like Karsa.
好的，欢迎来到赛后采访，我是主持人西西。那首先恭喜 RNG 获得今天比赛的胜利。今天来到我们采访席的嘉宾是 RNG 的研发组合。
Today we have Karsa and Ming. Can you say hello to everyone?
RNG 大爷 Karsa.
Hello to everyone. I am Karsa.
首先欢迎2位。 那可以看到，今天我们现场的观众也是非常热情。
Today our fans seem to be very passionate. You guys have secured your tickets to Worlds.
首先想问一下2位，
First question I have for you.
通往下决的门票，
You are going to the finals
进往 S9
and
的门票。
Worlds
那想问一下
Season
2位，
9.
有没有什么想说的？
What is there something you want to say on your mind now?
就非常激动跟开心嘛。
We're very ecstatic and
后面
happy.
的所有比赛做好更多的
We will do preparations for all the games coming, and we will have great preparations. I think Xiahu has said everything I wanted to say.
就是小明说的对嘛，对吧？好，那第二个问题其实想问一
Second
下，
question.
在上场比赛中，其实我记得当时
Before
握手
you
会的时候，
walked onto
然后
stage,
很多 RNG 的
I
粉丝
saw
都说，
you
就是
at
我
the
们
fan
跟你们
meet.
说一句话，就同样的一句话，就是那我们决赛见。那接下来
And all
真
the
的是
fans
就是有
told
6
you
号见了嘛。
we'll see
那
you
想
at
问一下，
finals.
2位有没有什么话，就是对一直支持着
Do you
RNG 的
want
粉
to
丝
say
说的？
something to all the fans of
其
RNG
实一
that
开
have
始也没想
supported
到会
you?
走那么远啦，所以我们
I actually didn't think that we
就
would
决赛
get
希
this
望
far.
能够拿个好成绩吧。然后世界赛
So
我
I
们的方
hope
法
that we will do well at Worlds and going to Worlds with FBX. Both of us
关系非常好。那
are going to get good results.
Karsa 把我想说的话差不多说完了。
Karsa has said everything I wanted to
这
say.
样互相帮忙是吗？好，那其实说到 FunPlus 嘛，其实
Talking
昨
about
天
FunPlus,
FunPlus 在赢下比赛之后，
after they
然后
won
呢，
their
今天在
series,
接受一个电竞号的采访，他也有说到，就是说预测可能就是你们俩会在你们
FunPlus
两支队伍会在决赛相
did
见。那现在你
make
们
the
真的就是要
predictions
在6
that
号见了。
RNG
想
would
问
be
一
the
下，
one
有
winning
没有
the
什么就是
series?
放狠话的环节给我们
And
来一下？
is there any trash talk you want to say to FBX?
因为昨天其实杜云 B 最
Yesterday,
近姑姑她也有私讯我，她微信有私讯我说，
DM'd
宝贝，
me
我们决赛见。
and told
我
me
希望
that
她决赛的时候
we would see each other in the
他
finals,
决赛的时候我屁股能洗干净一点。
就
and I
可是
want
我会去
him,
抓他，我没有别的意思。不开
and
黄腔
I
这
just
这话
want
好像
Join
不
B
太好接。
to
那
wash
我
his
就问一
ass
下
because
他们好了，为什么
I'm
杜云 B 会
going
叫你宝
to
贝呢？
camp his lane.
有空可以多看杜云 B 直播，说来话长。
好，那我懂
if
了，今天
you-
回去就看一看，翻一翻录
I
像。
what I want to
好，
say is
那
like
小明这
Join
边有
B,
没有
you
什
can
么
go
狠
watch
话？
Join B streams.
其实
All of
没什
our
么狠话吧，主要是
negotiations
训
are
练的时
there.
候，他们赢了之后，林伟翔跟刘继松就疯狂给我发信息，说已经放完狠话等我了。然后我就
After
说
we won the series,
那跟我们赢了
LWX
再
and
跟你
Chris
们讲
kept
嘛
on DMing me
然
and
后
saying
看
that
胜负嘛。
就6号看结果了，对不对？
They've already
那也是期
said
待一
all
下，
the
我们可以
trash
一
talk
起
in
期
the
待一下6
DMs.
号的一个
And
决赛。
let's
那
just
接下
wait
来想问一下
for
关于
the
刚
finals
才
on the
比赛
6th.
的内容。首先想问一
I'm
下
gonna ask
Karsa，
something
其
about
实
the
刚
contents
才
in that game.
在前2局的时候嘛，
In
在
the
蓝
first
色
two
方都是
games
一
at
选
blue
黄
buff.
色，这是为什么呢？
On blue side,
主要真秀比
you
较肉嘛，
picked
然后
Jarvan.
就我假如上头
Why
的时
is
候比较
that?
不容易送，逃跑也比较快。
So
逃跑得
Jarvan's a
比
very
较
tanky
快。
champion,
为什么
so
总是就是
it
会他
makes
的
me less
这样
easy
呢
to int.
有
And
人
when
的
I
战
want
术
to
不
run
能偷偷
away,
说出来。
he
哦
runs
懂
pretty
了
fast.
还是要藏一点，就是大招的，对吧？好，那
And
第二个
he
问题想
refused to
问一
answer
下
the
小
second
明，其
question.
实今天
He wanted
整
to
个
keep
队伍
some
包括我们
secrets.
下路在整体的对线压制力上，包括整体的一个状态都非
I
常好。
want to ask
所以
Ming,
想问一
today
下，
in this
你感
series,
觉就
you
是
guys
现
in the
在
bot
队伍
lane
有没有到
were
一个
very
自己比较
dominant.
理想的一个状态？
Do you think
哦
you're
希望
at
我
your
觉得我们队伍
ideal
状态
state?
好还可以继续提升吧。
I feel
然后
like
目前来说
RNG
应该
could
还没
still
发挥得特别
move it
好
up a
吧，
notch.
所以后面
I don't think we're doing
继续训
particularly
练发
well.
挥得更好吧，状态。
So I
好，
just
所以说
feel,
还是
I
会
just hope
进
in
行
the
一定提
future
升，然后
that
在
we can
后面的比
continue
赛
to
中会带给
grow.
大家更好、更精彩的比赛。好，那接下来最后一个问题
Last
是来自
question
哈皮水友的提问了。
From
然
the
后他
happy
说，
fans.
如果就是下决赛里给到你们一张观赛票，但是只有一张，你们会想邀
In
请
the
谁来到现
finals,
场看
if
你们
you
打比赛？
have
为什么？
one ticket, who would you give it to? But you only get one ticket.
来看我比赛。
好，那我相信君泽应该也听到了。那卡萨，你想给
I
谁呢？
wanted to
你
give
不能给
it
严
to
君泽了
Let
吧？他已
Me.
经说了。
I want to give Let Me that dumbass a
香锅吧。
ticket.
香锅
对。
那为
I
什
would
么
like to
呢
give MLXG a
对哦
ticket.
就想让他看看我自己也成长，就
I
不用怕
want
他
to
打
let
进球
MLXG
好我觉得
see
你再给一张吧
the
把
growth
姿态也拉过来
that I've
把
done.
姿态也拉过来是吧
I think you should give us
好
another
那就再
ticket
多
because I
给一
want
张
to tie
3
here
张
as
好不
well.
好？好，那也是感谢2位接受到我的采访。那接下来就要进入到由首先
much.
I
Thank you very
just
much,
want to
Mr.
say
Clementiu.
there, I did a very literal translation. Those are not my own words. Just to make that absolutely clear.
I'm saying.
Great trans. That was great. That
Somebody
was a
out
very,
there needs to watch their mouth.
I was surprised by that trash talk. I'm like, that was a
I mean,
bit
that
raw.
was beyond trash talk. That was some foul mouth. Thank you for the translation. It's always a very revealing interview between Karsa and Ming. But looking forward towards Worlds, I take away from that. Looking forward towards, you know, going all the way and at least seeing FPX in the finals.
Yeah, watch your butt, Doomby. Watch it. He's
Wow.
coming. 2-3-man gank, apparently. That has been the go-to if we're just talking
Yes.
about how to keep contained
Tactically,
Doomby.
that is valid.
He understood that he needed to watch his buttocks,
Oh,
and now
watch.
he's understanding.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yes, of course.
No,
Hmm?
it was something else. That's
Oh,
all right.
okay, sorry.
But look, we're getting towards the end of the split. A great way to finish, I think, you know, after everything's all said and done. With RNG and FPX now in the finals,
Yeah!
new expectations, 3-1 from each of the teams. Ladies and gentlemen, there's our final right there, coming up on the 6th.
But you gotta watch out because BLG versus Top Esports as your third, fourth place matchup that actually has huge ramifications for BLG as a team. If they do not hit third place, then they're simply out of the gauntlet run.
Yeah.
And JD Gaming is going to be watching that one as well, because if BLG win here, Top Esports are still guaranteed gauntlet, but JD Gaming would be out
Due
of
to the
contention.
summer points, of course.
Yeah, but then you have yourself a wonderful grand finals. RNG going up against FPX. That one should go the distance. There is no way it's
That's
not
not
gonna
a
it's
3-0.
not gonna be a 3-0. It's not simply gonna be a JD IG one. Both these teams have very similar styles, and we see it go the distance consistently.
5. I feel like all 5 sits on that
Now you're
series.
just pushing your luck.
No, well, definitely won't be. After the way it's gone in the past, RNG and FPX, that's a great grand finals to look forward to, of course. Gauntlet as well. We don't need to theory craft. If we look at the teams available for it, we've got some hot teams ready to go to Worlds.
Exactly. We already know, well, the two teams that are going to Worlds in RNG and FPX.
Yep.
And that last team, Invictus Gaming, and then, of course, Top Esports are going to be in the gauntlet. The only team now to be decided is between JD and BLG.
That's right.
BLG needs that third place finish to be able to still continue on their, you know, Worlds run.
And I know you had the predictions that BLG were going to make it, but I hope that Top Esports show us a little bit more. I want to see they have more character after the laning phase, see Knight really step up to a series. And I think what they showed here actually is a good counter to the way BLG plays. You know, the soul lane strength and just getting kills, outrunning their opponent. So I have some good faith in TOP to make it a great third place match as well.
You have faith. The teams lining up. The finals coming up on September 6th. Our third, fourth place match before all that to find out the potential of running the gauntlet. A big thank you to Clement Chu, to Barento Raz Muhammad, and not to myself, but to the production team here at Dominion. It's been great. We'll be back with you for the 3rd and 4th place match. It is bye for now, but not forever.